got it.
Welcome.
Road safety.
That's it. Coming live from our Uber, and we're going heading down to a beautiful dinner with Regan's publicist.
It's like 3 p.m. and we're
Yeah,
going to
it's
dinner.
an early dinner, and we're on our way to Venice Beach. You know, beautiful Venice, Los Angeles. So this live stream has been motivated from interactions that we've had. Okay.
Trying to make it longer. Hang on.
See, I told you she's a bully.
There we go. Wait. See?
You alright?
Yeah, that's better. You can rest on there.
Okay.
Look at us with our seatbelts on.
So, we want to talk about why people, you know, struggle with getting their message across and being able.
Well, the topic is right.
Don't die with your greatness in you.
Right.
At all, Uber.
Very bumpy. You've got to hold this still.
Just make sure we've got a bit of traffic here, so it's cool. So, as people say, you know, the graveyard is one of the richest places in the world because everyone, you know, goes to their death without getting their greatness out, you know. And my big argument, and this is something that I had to face for years, was, you know, that I thought that I had to go to school and be a rocket scientist or a doctor or
a rocket scientist.
Oh, some stupid qualification to you know.
Why didn't you do that?
Because I can't spell.
Oh.
No.
Do they need to know how to spell?
No, they don't. So, you know, I had a message 5 years ago that, you know, when I was down and out, and you know, and I just wanted to make sure that I was you know, doing something that I loved in my life, and you know, like I said, I had no direction. You know, I was a bodyguard and an electrician, and you know, and it was just like, you know, I didn't think that I deserved to be successful, and so I played that game and kept telling myself that. And you know, now, you know, having an international business and being able to impact the lives of, you know, thousands of men and obviously women as well, you know, on a different level, you know, and that's my idea came about, was my own experience of being down and out, and then, you know, getting myself out of that dark place, getting off drugs, getting away from, you know, getting out of my bikie gang and the rest of that. And then I'm like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So enough about me. What I want to say before Regan absolutely sends a crazy message to the world is that get your message out. Talk about it, even if you think that no one's listening. You know, we've got so many different social media platforms that we're blessed with, and get it out. Look, it takes a while. Look, you know, it's like The Rock. You see The Rock, he started off, no one knew who he was, and you know, he didn't have the body that he had, he didn't, you know, all this and the rest of that, but he kept working on himself, he kept expressing his message. You know, Michael Jordan as well, you know, he got cut from a high school basketball team, he didn't know, and then he become the best, you know, he just stuck with it, become obsessed. The main thing is you don't want to worry, you don't care what anyone else thinks, as long as you're not hurting them or disrespecting them, just stay true to your message and your core message. But don't just say what you say because it's an idea. You know, you want to say it because it's something that you're obsessed about, something that, you know, gets you up early in the morning, keeps you, you know, up late at night. And you know, when you talk about it, it just gives you goosebumps. And you know, even me expressing myself in the Uber, which, you know, I'm so grateful this gentleman was able to, you know. what is your name? Johnny. Say hello to.
Hey guys.
There he is.
Yeah. The best.
Johnny's Armenian, like all my boys back in Melbourne. So sending our love. So.
He's awesome.
It's hammer time.
That's so cool. Hey guys, type in. Oh, you're alright.
Sorry.
type in a hi if you can actually hear us and see us. That'd be awesome. No one said anything, and sometimes Facebook Live has like a crazy delay on it. So I just want to check we are live with everyone. Just be like, yo, what's up? Hey,
hey Jess.
Hey Jess, long time no see. That's so cool. Awesome. All right, that's working. What did you want me to say? Were you going to ask me something? You've taken over my live stream, so...
What I want to ask, I want to interview you.
Okay.
So, you've had success in a lot of areas of your life since you were born. I think about 20 minutes you were successful.
It's so not true.
So, you know, so you've done many companies, and you know, you've changed so many people's lives. What is your main motivation, and how have you sustained that confidence to do something else and absolutely smash it?
Totally, that's a really good question actually.
Of course,
I didn't know who was going to interview me, so that's cool. What is my main motivation? Well, here's the thing. I think motivation changes. Hey Vicky, Hey, welcome. Hey, so I think motivation changes as you grow and develop and change, and I also think it's okay to be alright with whatever it is that you're motivated, by, basically. So to answer your question right now, what's motivating me is impact. What's motivating me is how many more people's lives can I change. What's motivating me is how much more of an impact can I make on not just a small scale or a community scale, but on a freaking global scale. Like, that is what is really important to me right now. That's what keeps me up working late at night. That's what gets me out of bed. That's what makes me do like live streams when we're stuck in traffic, like in the middle of LA, right? That's what's really important to me right now. But was that always important to me in the beginning? Not so much. Like, I was always driven by having a big heart and wanting to help people, but did I want to change the whole world and do like crazy, amazing like charity work and stuff? No, like not particularly. Like, it just wasn't a huge motivation. So I think the key thing around motivation is, especially when it comes to success, is actually being okay with just owning and acknowledging whatever it is that you are motivated by. If you're motivated by making some money and actually giving yourself a life of financial freedom because you are sick of your job, right, then do that. Like, that's a great thing, because here's the thing, you can't give to anyone else until you're actually giving to yourself and until you're sorted. So if you're motivated just by having fun, if you're just like, I'm motivated to create success that I can spend more of my life actually having fun on a day-to-day basis, then go do that. And don't let anyone tell you that your motivation is not big enough, or don't let anyone tell you that your motivation is not like global enough, because it's okay. And just know that whatever you're motivated by, honor that, move towards that. Oh my gosh, it's very bumpy. And then just keep going through that. So does that answer your question? You satisfied?
Yeah, that's great, because I even been Regan's fiance, and seeing how she's dry. Like, I've never ever been around a person that has got that work ethic, and it makes my work ethic, obviously it brings out the best. But what I want to say with the people that are, I come from, as I say, I won't say I come from the streets, but I come from a beautiful family, but I've been involved in say that sort of environment, and is people sort of look at it and they go, you know what, I can't be successful, or I can't make it, and I don't know where to start. If you say you don't know or you can't be successful, you have to just start with one positive mindset. Like, we were talking to our Uber driver, and it was awesome. He was just saying that with just a positive mindset, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, and it's Johnny, yeah.
We're quoting him now.
And and that was just so refreshing to hear that, because everyone else tells you all the reasons why they can't be successful, all the reasons why they can't get out of what they're doing. But what we've been conditioned with in the world is that you have to have this certificate, or you have to go and spend all this money on look, you do need some sort of qualifications, and you do need to be good at what you do, but who says that you need to be a doctor? Who says that you need to be all these other ridiculous things for you to get a big paycheck? What you need to think about is, what is the world missing, what are you good at, and how you can fill that void.
I have a question for you.
Okay, interview time.
My question for you, Lee, is, I think a lot of people looking into your life is like, they're like, oh my gosh, Lee's so hardcore, he's like beast mode, like he's on all the time, he's like training, then he's doing this, and then he's doing a live stream, and he's doing a webinar. It's kind of like, oh my god, does this guy have any downtime? And in the moments, because obviously you're human, where you don't feel
human.
Kind of.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Part human. Part alien. In the moments where, you don't feel like showing up, and when you don't feel like sharing your message, and when you don't feel like doing the work, what do you do to get yourself back into the game?
That's a really good question.
Thank
because
you.
I know, and Regan knows as well, that it wasn't always like that. When it got tough, I used to fall and I used to crumble. And do you think I had the results? No. Do you reckon I was a person of influence? No. So life does get hard. We do get tired. We have big hours. Sometimes we don't, like the situation or whatever, whatever happens. And hi Tara, how you going?
Hey Tara.
And what I do is I look at the big picture. I don't think about me. I think about we. I think about, you know, what people need me to show up to be that person. Like, you know, I was quite ill a few months back, but, you know, I've been getting up at 2 a.m., 5 a.m., still doing webinars and, you know, still doing my coaching calls and still studying and, you know, getting that content out to people. But what I say, look, don't stop. Even there'll be some days when you're not on the, you know, you're not on point. Just still do something. You might not do it at, you know, the highest energy or on, you know, that same state as you normally do, but still move forward, still take the steps, still get up and do your success priming, still get up and connect with your goals, because we're creatures of habit. If you don't do it, you'll get used to stop doing it. You know what I mean? You have a day off the gym and then another day and another day. That's what we're about. We're about momentum. And unfortunately, what's that saying? Our connection's low. So,
That's right.
you know, have an idea, and, you know, going back, I won't jump a bit, going back to Regan's question is that, yes, I know, look, don't burn yourself out, because I'm really good at doing that, and you want to enjoy it. If you're not laughing, if you're not smiling, you really have...
There we go.
We're back. Just had a quick break.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, cool. I wasn't looking at everyone's on. There's a few people on.
Yeah.
So,
guys, you can type in anything that you want to ask us, by the way. Lee's having fun, like, jiggling this camera around.
it's bumpy.
It is bumpy. Ask us anything you want. Ask us anything around sharing your true message, unlocking your true message, anything around success mindset, daily routines, anything you guys would like to know. Keep going.
Okay, what I'm going to say, for me, coming from quite humble, and, you know, I was a great athlete, you know, consider myself still a good athlete, but talking about, you know, being successful and having a return at the end of the day. You know, some people say, oh, you know, people with money are evil. No, that's not particularly right. When you can get up and not report to someone, and when you don't have to go to an environment where you don't like the people or they're energy vampires, that's, you know, that's worth $1 billion to me. You know, to be able to create something from my heart and be able to improve the lives of, you know, men, and then obviously they improve the lives of their family and so on. And why I say men is because, you know, again, I've said this 100 times, I've never been a woman. So, well, I don't think I have.
Sure.
Sometimes, depends how many drinks I've had. No, only joking. So, what I want to say to everyone out there that finds that, you know, if they're not liking their situation or they're not liking the people they're around, and that you can change it. You're so capable. But look, it's not gonna. This is what happens. We want to change things overnight. We want to try something.
Keep going. I was trying to say.
Okay, cool. And, you know, you need to just put it out there. And the thing is, you might not get likes, or you might not get people on your live stream, or, you know, might not get whatever the 2016 era is, or, you know, people that followers. Like, that's all rubbish. Everyone is always looking. That's not a gauge of how you become successful. You know what you need to do. Oh, what was Robert saying? Excited for the retreat in a couple of weeks.
You're so distracted by comments.
Oh, but he's one of my boys, so.
Oh.
Where can I really bring my fellows to the next level? So, what I'm going to say as well, and I'll get back to you in a sec, Robin.
Yeah, we'll answer questions in a sec.
Is you need to be vulnerable. You need to, you know, especially men, you know, we say, oh, now everything's sorted, and you know, we need to make sure that, you know, like, oh, I don't need help from anyone else, and what's this rubbish that you're going on about? That was me for years. I thought that I didn't, you know, that I had everything sorted, but behind closed doors, I was an emotional wreck, you know, because I knew that I was, you know, destined for bigger and better things. And I've always been a person that wanted to help people. You know, when I play basketball, I was the captain. When I play football, I was always, you know, always that leader. Is because even walking around the shopping centre yesterday, you see people that have got so much potential, way more than me, and they're just not, you know, they're not holding themselves accountable. And it's sad that you see them and they're not happy, and the people are angry and they're aggressive. And that used to be me. It's because that, you know, we've got so much pain because we're not living that life, and the way to express it is through violence, through anger, and through aggression, which is just weak. Because, you know, you can sit there and, you know, to hit somebody, it's very easy. You lose control. But if to sit there and control yourself, to put yourself in a different state, you know, to think positive, that's a skill. That's what power is. Yeah. So,
okay, so we got a question through from Troy. Where did you guys start? So I'm assuming you mean in terms of starting a journey and our businesses and everything like that. Our stories are a little bit different, so I'll share.
Very different.
Very different. So I'll share quickly. Long story short,
Go on, you.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Hi. Long story short, I grew up in I grew up in Auckland, New Zealand. Went to an awesome school. Parents were absolutely amazing, and I always worked really, really, really hard. Like I was always told that I was a total workaholic and that I had an amazing work ethic. But I was very much someone that was just going to fit into the system, basically. So, I finished school, went travelling for a little bit, came back, went to university in Wellington, New Zealand, and studied architecture of all things. And I remember, part way through that first year at uni, just knowing deep down in my stomach that it just wasn't right, that I just knew that I was destined for more. I didn't know what it was, I didn't know how it was going to happen, I didn't know any of the details, but I just knew that I had to change something, otherwise nothing was going to change. So I that's when I started personal development, right? And I started going to events and seminars. I started working with coaches. I was kind of flying blind a little bit. I just knew that I had to do something different, again, because otherwise nothing was actually going to get better effectively. So it was through that journey that I really became almost addicted to the growth and addicted to the change. And I loved that when I worked on my mindset, I could start seeing shifts and changes in my life right away. From there, oh my gosh, very bumpy. From there, that's when I started working with people one-on-one and coaching people through all areas of their life, purely because I understood that it was all around success mindset. And I really got at a deep level that if I could condition their mind to succeed, oh my gosh, we're in a racing car.
That's all right.
I really understood that if I could condition my mind to succeed, and if I could show others how to do the same thing, then some really freaking cool stuff would happen. So from there, I ended up building out my first coaching and seminar business, doing a lot of events around Australia and New Zealand, and then in the last year, really actually shifting everything online. And going, do you know what? I need to build a personal brand. I need to unlock my true message. I need to stop hiding. I need to literally just start being me. Hey Michelle, nice to have you on. And that's when I really took a big leap, and I committed to actually making this work and making this happen and just going for it. So that's my story in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more ups and downs and craziness that went on in between. But do you want to share yours, Lee, as well?
Well, my story is classified. It's I've always sort of portrayed myself through sport. I was a good footballer. I played college basketball in America, and I was a party boy. I used to go out a lot, and with school I didn't apply myself, and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like direction from people that I didn't have any respect for. What are we doing?
I'm plugging it in. Just put it in your ear.
Okay.
Just think it's going to be really noisy. You can keep going.
We're plugged in. So, cut a long story short, I was in retail, and I sort of bounced from job to job, and it drove me crazy. And because I knew there was something bigger and better out there. I knew that there was a higher purpose for me, and I used to think that maybe I'm just this hothead that didn't get along with my superiors or my.
Hey Mickey.
Hey Mickey.
Lee's taken over my live stream.
So, cut a long story short, I was in and out, and then I was doing a trade, and I was doing electrical work, and then it was retail, then electrical work, and then I was a professional bodyguard at the casino in Melbourne, and where I went from there, I had a downfall. I was with a girl for 9 years, and I was engaged, and it wasn't the right person for me. Basically, what happened was I called it off, downward spiral, lost a lot of money. As they say, depression. Moved back to my parents' place, lost all my properties, my cars, and the rest of that. And then it got really ugly, and I didn't know anything about mindset, about positive thinking. I turned to being around the wrong people and drugs and partying again, just wanted to numb the pain. And then I said, there's a fork at the end of the road. I need to do something different with my life. And I was blessed. Regan and I met while I was working at the casino, and I was looking after a client, and then it was just more of, come and meet this person, they do this, and change of environment saved my life. And at the start I was very, very you know, not accepting to it, because I'm like, who are these people? What's this cult? What's this rubbish mindset? What are you talking about? What's NLP? You know, you guys are just, you know, what are you, some, you know, what a, you know, it wasn't cool. So cut a long story short, being around these people, working on my mindset, believing in myself, and knowing that I was greater for, you know, instead of a 9-to-5 job, that I wanted to go out and inspire people, I started to improve my life dramatically. And then I was in a situation, and I was in a place that I could leave my 9-to-5. Thanks, Husky. If I didn't have to her, she would have cried. So
Such a liar.
so where my journey came about, and where my companies came about, is that, you know, I've been down and out. Not many men that I've met have been as low as me. And if I could do it, anyone can do it. And that success strategy, that formula, what I've discovered, and that's why I'm sharing it with the world. Because, you know, I get some people, and I'll say people with big mouths and big heads, they say to me, you know what, how are you qualified? And I say, well, I can show you now 19 certificates of all the different qualifications, mindset, coaching, and all that rubbish that doesn't mean shit. Or I can tell you my life story, which I think is a better qualification than any rubbish certificate that you go there and the people that are in front of the class need more help than you need, you know. So that's my story, and my story is like very real. I like to keep things, you know, that's, you know, when I call myself the truth, is that, you know, I'd like to, you know, people don't like the truth, unfortunately, but they want the truth. You know, as they say, you can't handle the truth. So, taking that out.
Yeah, my turn.
Okay, so
I want to answer Laura's question.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, no, there's lots of questions, and I'm looking at the time, so I want to answer it. So, Laura says, love you guys as a power couple, always great advice, great question, Troy. One for you specifically, Regan. When did you start as a life coach? How did you begin to market yourself in order to get yourself from inspiring others to actually making a large enough profit to make a living from? And that's a really awesome question, because I, for a long time, was literally just like that girl on Facebook that was posting inspirational quotes and inspirational things, and everyone was like, oh my god, you're so inspiring, but I wasn't making any money. And here's the thing, I always knew I had a message, and I always knew my message was deep, and I knew that it had so many layers, and I was always committed to sharing it. I would show up daily and share my message, but the difference was I didn't understand how to monetize it. I hadn't pulled all the pieces together. So to answer your question specifically, Laura, I got a coach, and I didn't just get one coach, I got multiple coaches. True. Like a ridiculous amount. I spent,
coach for everything.
Yeah, I spent money that I didn't have, and I literally just did whatever it took to find someone, and, you know, various people, right, that could actually take me from where I was to where I wanted to be. And for me, that was like, how do I go from being just an inspirational girl on Facebook to actually being a powerful public figure with a strong message that makes millions? And that's obviously a big gap. Okay, that's not fun, he's doing this to me now. He was good at his own game. So yeah, to answer your question, I did that. I got a whole lot of coaching, and I learned to find the balance between strategy and then messaging, right? So if you're just messaging, but if it's not intentional, if you're not moving people forward, if you're not creating offers, here's the thing, like let's get this really plain and simple right now. Here's what you really need to do to succeed online, or really in any business, but specifically online, specifically around especially a personal brand. Step number one is find what your message is, go deep with it, discover it, and then you need to actually put it out there, right? Step number two is you need to increase your visibility. You could have the best message in the world ever, like you could be the most inspirational person ever.
Like me?
Yeah, like Lee, sure. If no one is seeing or hearing or reading or feeling your message, it doesn't matter. Stop being gross. That's gross. It doesn't matter, right? You can be the most inspirational person in the world, and if no one is actually seeing your stuff, then what's the frickin' point? Exactly. So step number one, get your message out there daily. Step number two is actually increase your visibility. Step number three, it sounds so simple, provide an offer to help people, right? If you're really inspirational and you have a great message, but if you don't have a way to move people forward, for them to get closer to you, if you don't have a way to actually provide some value in exchange for money, it's never going to work, right? And so many people miss like one of those steps, and they show up and they're like, you know, they've got a great message and everyone's following them, but they're not making any money. That's why, because they haven't nailed step three, which is actually learning how to monetize that. Now, I didn't make that up myself. I've learned that from a whole lot of my coaches, and by the way, it works. Let Let me just check the questions. I hope that helps. Laura, let me know if that helps. Hey guys, welcome. Annabelle, hey. Rosa, cool. Awesome. Powerful information. Okay, cool.
So I want to go back to Robert's question about...
Here.
How's that going to make it better?
Because you're speaking into the
Oh, the
speaker.
microphone, okay. I was like...
It's like not that hard to figure out.
Feels like I'm doing security again, Secret Service. So Robert was talking about, like, obviously we've got an empowerment retreat in a couple of weeks. What are you doing?
You always cut me out.
I know.
It's
Better.
not very nice. You've just taken over my live stream. This is my live stream. You realize?
See what I have to put up with?
Why don't you live stream from
With
your
great
phone?
looks came with great responsibilities.
Live stream from your own Facebook.
Anyway, so
awesome, Laura. Cool.
So what I want to say with Rob and everyone that's attending, the empowerment retreats is basically come there and, as I say, be vulnerable. If you're worried about what people are going to think, if you're worried about what you're going to say, if any stone's unturned, then you're still going to have that challenge. You're still going to have that negative cancer of limiting beliefs that are still going to be with you. So, anyone that comes there, and obviously Milo will be there as well, and there's going to be 12 boys there. It's going to be huge. It's basically in life, you need to face everything, head on. You need to be able to, if you lie about stuff, if you say everything's sorted and you don't face it and overcome it, then what's going to happen? That splinter is going to be with you for the rest of your life. So, be there. Like, one thing that I've gotten good at, or, I've always had that, like, the less I've cared about what people have thought, but in a respectful way, and sometimes people can say, not like, I'm not going to go there and be rude or, disrespect somebody.
You might be.
But
a little bit rude.
I could probably, but
Maybe.
I don't intentionally go to do that. But what I'm saying is that the people that, they might look at me and then straight away they're like, oh, tattoos and this and that, and I look at this thug. And a lot of my clients that were, corporate clients, Milo goes buzzing hard. My corporate clients, they were like, hold on a second, I saw you, and what sort of, how are you going to get me a result because the way I look? And I'm like, really? If that's how your mind works, and we've got a lot of work to do, and you've got some big challenges. So doesn't matter, what nationality you are or where you've come from or what language you speak or anything like that. You are so powerful and you are so worthy to make a change in this world. It doesn't matter that you have to sit up on stage and have a suit and and a bow tie and the rest of that. Jason.
We'll answer it later.
We'll ask it. Okay.
You get distracted.
I am. But if it comes up and I pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So, and look, we're not trying to feed anyone significance. We're not trying to brainwash anyone. You need to sit down and what excites you, what inspires you. And, and don't think, oh, that's a stupid idea. No one needs that. Like, what does the world need? There's a lot of people out there that we can help. And, what you need to think about is how can you help people, have a better existence. But if you're thinking about what can I do to get what I want, then you're on the wrong vibration, because you help as many people. The more people you help, you get everything you want. But it shouldn't be, well, I'm going to help that person to get what I want, because that person can sniff you out. The universe will sniff you out. You help people because they need help. I'm better at things than Regan's at, and she won't admit that, and she's better at things than I'm at. So we bounce off each other.
You are better at some things.
I know, but that's and I just want I just want everyone out there to firstly be happy and start living. Hey, Jade from Bali, rockstar.
See you in Bali soon.
I think he's just arrived. So
that's awesome.
My mission, and I know Regan's mission, is very similar. It's just empowering people in so many different ways to live a better existence, and then help your family, and then help your friends, and help everyone else. What was that?
I tried to press the thumbs up. It asked me if I wanted to delete Jade.
You wanted to block Jade.
We had a question in here from Jason. So, hey guys, just jumped on 5 minutes ago. Welcome. I live in Brisbane. Cool. Where did you guys learn to study your coaching strategies? There's
life.
Well, yeah, but we have done specific study as well. There's a big mix, like a real big mix. So we definitely, I wouldn't say we're life coaches, we're not NLP coaches, we're not this, we're not that. We don't really fit in one kind of bucket, purely because we've pulled from so much. In saying that, yeah, we've done life coaching stuff. Yeah, we've studied NLP. Yeah, we've done hypnotherapy. Like, we can put each other in trance, like, literally. But, yep. You know, we've done success strategy stuff. We've done mindset stuff. We've done matrix energetic stuff. Like, the list is just kind of freaking endless, to be honest. You know, we've done a lot around financial education, around, like, stock standard mindset, around really high level mindset. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. So, to answer your question, you know, it's not just one place. It's not like, oh, we went here and we did some course and now we're here. It's literally like we've both just been totally addicted to growth and totally addicted to change and to jumping in and to doing whatever it takes and to investing, you know, like I said at the beginning, money that we didn't have initially, because we knew that if we didn't change something about ourselves, then nothing was going to change. Like, we really both got that. So yeah, there's a huge mix. We've read lots of books. We've done lots of just watching stuff on YouTube, and still do. We've done courses. We've done live events, seminars, like you name it. Basically, it's crazy. I think for me, one of the most influential things that I've done is working at getting in absolutely really amazing environments. This is almost like a step further than doing a course or going to an event, for example. You know, we both paid a lot of money, for example, to have dinner with Arnold Schwarzenegger or dinner with Tim Ferriss, or, you know, we've done meet and greets with other celebrities, which has, you know, been really, like, most people would be like, that's extraordinary, like, that's crazy, like, that's so much money, why would you do that? But for us, it's not even about that celebrity or that person. It's getting into that environment of the other people that are attending and networking and learning from their mindsets. Especially, you know, I was doing a lot of that stuff when I was really young, like I was 19, 20, and I was way out of my depth. I was like a broke uni student, right? And I was surrounded by all these self-made millionaires talking about like trading currency and their stocks dropping up and down, and I was like, what's a stock? Like, you know, I was so out of my depth, but at the same time, it forced me to grow really quickly. So something that each and every one of you can do if you're watching this live stream is really make a conscious effort of, well, how can I get into new environments? And I did a whole live stream, by the way, just on environment at like 3 a.m. in Vegas. Don't ask, but it happened. And it's amazing. It's really good. Like, I go really deep into environmental questions and how to change your environment and the importance of it. So if you scroll down my page, it's on there, or go to the videos. Did you want to add to that in terms of what we've done?
See, even with the environment, it's so crucial, is because I even know, if you're not around people that are in the same vibration, I even know, you know, a lot of my boys that come back from the retreats, if they don't have people that are going to match them, it's slowly going to be like kryptonite to Superman. You're going to have people that are going to take that power that you just learn away from you, and you're going to, it's like depolarize yourself. You're going to go back to your, you know, to your own ways again. So if you've got people that aren't growing, oh, there's my auntie. How are you, auntie?
You're welcome,
Good
Jason.
morning.
Cool.
And yeah, no worries, Jace. Hope that helped. You know, again, you need to be in an environment that people are going to always strive to make you, like, they're going to help you grow. You know, if you've got someone that's negative and you're trying to, you know, make it, and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing all this? And rah, rah, rah. You know, and that's how I was in my working environment, that, why are you trying to break out of here? You know, who do you think you are? It's just, there was just so much stuff there that, you know, and it happens. Like, this is one thing that I'm facing now with my boys. Like, at the retreats, when they're around, you know, the right environment, and I'm there to watch them and kick their ass, you know, their potential was ridiculous. Everyone has got the potential in them, but they just forget about it. People think that you need to learn. You've got everything that you need within you right now. You just have to remember it. It's all about unlearning. You don't need to learn anything. It's all about unlearning. Okay, to a point, yes, you can learn new things and whatever, but everyone is so capable right now to change their lives right now, but they just haven't been shown the way. So environment is number one, because if you can be a person of, you know, success.
We've arrived. Keep going. We can walk it out of the car. We'll
Cool.
flip it and show them in a sec.
Okay, cool. Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
beautiful.
Can jump out.
All right.
So
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Thank
So this
you.
is.
Have a good one. Cheers. Trust them, okay?
Live in Australia and New Zealand and everywhere else.
Thank you,
right
man.
now.
I'll chuck this out. Hopefully we didn't talk too much for you. All right.
No, it's fine. No worries.
Take care, man.
Bye, brother.
Thank you. Look where we are. Yeah. Where's the rubbish bin? You take it. Take the thing out of my ear.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to flip this around so you guys can see. We've literally just turned up. We're kind of near Venice Beach in LA. Flip it for you guys. It's really super pretty. So we're going into one of these apartments down here. It looks like there's a raging little pool party happening there as well. Yeah, so we've been invited to a really beautiful... Yeah, I know. Lee's just seen the pool party. We've been invited to a really beautiful dinner, like kind of, you know, late lunch, kind of early dinner down here, which is awesome. So I'll give you guys a quick little spin and then we'll jump off because we have to... Hang on. I'm showing them the water and the boats. It's really pretty down here. So yeah, we're pretty close to Venice Beach, basically. Say hi, Lee. I'm going to flip it back around.
Muscle Beach right there.
Awesome. Alright guys, we're going to rock and roll. We have to jump up and go and find the apartment that we're jumping into. But love you all. Thank you so much for jumping on. Do you want to come say bye? Say bye.
Hope that added some value.
Oh, what's going on with my hair?
What we're going to say is, you need to become a master of what we just told you. A master of application of the knowledge. That's the key right there.
Got it. Alright guys, have an epic morning, evening, midday, wherever you are in the world. And remember, you absolutely can have it all. Ciao!